Hi everyone, I'm Scott and welcome to another episode of The Unlikely Beak. So it's been about 2 weeks since we've been to the bee yard. The last time we were here, we came to check on whether or not our queen that we installed under a push cage had been accepted. So when we got here, if you remember, they did make it underneath the push cage and had released the queen, although we did not find her, and it was still probably just a little too early to know whether or not she had been accepted and was in the colony doing what she's supposed to be doing. So we've come back today to kind of check up on that again as a follow-up. We're also going to be looking at the honey supers today to see whether or not there's any honey ready to be harvested. If it is, we'll be taking those frames with us. It'd be great if there was an entire 10-frame super ready to go. We'd just take the whole super with us. So, and then we're just going to do a general inspection on the other colonies just to make sure everything is okay in there. We're not going to dig too deep into those boxes. All right, so we're here at Hive 1, or what we've been calling the Rockstar Colony. I'm about to light the smoker for the first time, of course. Code what would be an unlikely beak episode without me having to light my smoker 10 times. So what I'm trying here now is to get this off so I can check this other super, and this thing is going to weigh 10,000 pounds, I can already tell, and it's going to be tough, so you might hear me. Oh man, oh my gosh. That super has to weigh, oh my gosh, it has to weigh 75 pounds, I swear. We're hoping to not have to go that far down in here before we find evidence that our queen is in here laying. And we can close the box back up and leave them alone to do what they're doing. So as you can see here, we have quite a few queen cells on this frame. Looks like two of them that, at least two of them that are still capped. I may have torn one or two of them open. I'm not sure why we have queen cells if we have a queen. This colony is a real mess. So what I would expect to see them do is the queen that I did have in here for a little bit, I had her on this frame. I would expect, and she laid some eggs on there because she would have. She was under the push cage until they were able to tunnel underneath it and get at her, right? So I would expect to see queen cells on that frame. There was some eggs and larvae on this frame too that I took from one of the nukes. I would expect to see queen cells on here too, because then they could build a queen cell from, or build a queen from those eggs. And we have a queen cell down there that we did partially tear open. Now I see a lot of eggs in here, right? So the fact that they have eggs in here, but then they're also making queen cells, tells me that they either A, don't like their queen. Nothing could have happened to their queen because I wasn't in here, I don't believe. Plus I wouldn't see eggs after a week of the last time I was in here. So, because they're only eggs for 3 days. So they either don't like their queen for some reason. Something's wrong with her. They're trying to make a new one. Or there's just so many bees in here that they feel like it's time to swarm. Even though we are kind of past swarm season, coming out of swarm season, they'll still swarm if that's what they need to do. So what I'm doing with the smoke here in the air is they are coordinating their attack with me biochemically. Smoke covers that chemical up. Of course, I try not to squish any bees, but squishing bees is inevitable. David Burns always says, go slow and you won't squish bees. But yes, you will. Especially when you've got this many bees in a box. This colony is just chocked full of bees. All right, well, this colony needs yet another week or two. There's definitely nothing more we can learn from it today. Okay, so Hive 2, which is one of the April 20th packages. We gave them a super just to see what they'll do with it. I suspect they've done nothing. But I just want to make sure the queen is okay and everything is going all right in here. So it shouldn't take us too long in here. Yeah, they haven't drawn really any comb out at all. How disappointing. I think I'm just gonna cut out here right now, finish my inspections, then I'll come back and give you some of my final thoughts about what's going on with this guy right here, because this colony is really trying my patience. Okay, so I'm into Hive 3, which is my other April 20th package. And what you see here is this is a queen catcher. There's two types of queen catchers. There's one we use to mark a queen. That's this one. Something must have happened to that queen catcher and I took it out of here. But anyway, there's another one. It looks more like a clip. And we cannot mark the queen in that one because it's just not designed right for it. So what we have this one here is we open this top here, we find the queen, we put that down over her on the frame, and then we slowly work this lever until this closes and she's in there. Of course, she has attendants in there. The attendants can get out, but she cannot. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be pushing this bottom piece up towards the top there, just enough to immobilize her and hold her in place. And then I'm going to be using a special marker that's color coded based on the year that we're in, odd and even kind of things. So this year it's green. So we're going to be marking her green. And that does two things for us. One, it makes it easier to spot her on a frame because she's the only bee with this big green fluorescent dot on her back. And the second thing is that if our colony ever swarms and we don't know about it, and we find a queen in our colony that doesn't have a green dot on it, then we know that our colony swarmed and our queen left and we have a new queen. All right, there we go. I think we got her pinned. But yeah, so that's how we do it. I don't know if you can see her in there or not. She's got the green dot on her back now. And green is just the color for 2024. So, you see there? Went right back down in. There is nothing else for us to do in that colony. We know she's in there now. We know everything is good. And of course I saw some eggs and some larvae on the first couple of frames. So they haven't done anything with their honey super because of course they haven't. So we're gonna close it all back up. We'll move on to the nukes. Oh man, that was a longer than I expected inspection. It seems like colony or hive 3 and 4 seems like they're doing pretty good. Colony 2 is doing pretty good too. Of course, we marked the queen so we can spot her easier in the future. So the nukes, I don't know, they seem to not be doing so great. And I swear there is this frame in one of the nukes that always has eggs on it, and I never see it where it has larva or capped bird. It's almost like it's got permanent eggs on it, which is impossible. So I don't know what's going on with that. If I didn't know better, I'd swear I was being punked. But now The real frustrating head scratcher is this hive 1, this rockstar hive. I swear, like, there are eggs, definitely eggs in there that were not in there before. And there was definitely a frame full of queen cells. Unfortunately, a couple of them I accidentally ripped open when I got into the box. I mean, that happens. But there were no eggs on that frame prior to the last time I was in there. Unfortunately, the the jury's still out on that colony. I don't know what's going on with it. So I'll just have to wait. I'll have to wait and see what happens with that colony, and figure out, what I'm gonna do with it next. I'm hoping that if I just leave it alone for a couple more weeks, I'll get in there and everything will be right as rain. I think that's it for everything here in the bee yard and for this episode. Stay tuned to find out what what's going on with the hive 1 mystery. Hopefully everything just sorts itself out in there and we end up with a queen who is laying and doing what she's supposed to do and builds that colony up for for winter. But there's already a lot of bees in there. So again, anybody's guess. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.